Hello, and welcome to Just Say It, the podcast that turns beginners into confident English speakers. Each episode brings you real-life conversations, repeat after me practice, and fun cultural tips. Ready to speak up? Let's dive in.
Have you ever found yourself, in that really frustrating spot? You know all the grammar rules, maybe you've read books. You can understand English pretty well when you hear it. But then the moment it's actually your turn to speak, it's like your voice feels weak or the words just feel broken. Your tongue won't cooperate.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly common.
It really is. It reminds me of Ariel's struggles, finding it hard to even get a full sentence out without stopping, thinking, feeling nervous.
Yeah, that embarrassment factor is huge. It's a massive hurdle in language learning.
But what we're looking at today is this technique. It sounds almost simple, right? But it seems to have this incredible power to really transform your English speaking.
Exactly. It helps you move beyond just knowing the words and, intellectually to actually internalizing how English sounds and feels. It really impacts your pronunciation, builds confidence. It helps you live the language rather than just sort of translating it in your head.
It's not magic, you're saying, but
Yeah.
it can feel like it.
It really can feel like it when you see the results. The shifts can be quite profound.
Okay, so today we're focusing on this technique called shadowing. We've gathered some really interesting insights. There's a great story about a young woman, Anna, and how movies played a part in her learning.
A fascinating journey.
And we're blending that with practical advice from language experts and looking at how people are actually using this method, like right now.
Our aim is really to unpack it all. What are the core ideas? What are the real benefits, the actual techniques you can use, and how does it apply in the real world?
Right. So we want to give you a clear, actionable guide, something you can actually use.
Exactly. So you can make this powerful tool work for you, whatever your current English level is. The goal is clear, confident English speaking.
Okay, so let's unpack this term shadowing.
Yeah.
It does sound a bit mysterious. What exactly are we talking about?
At its heart, it's pretty straightforward. It means repeating someone's speech almost at the exact same time as them.
Like literally talking over them.
Almost. Imagine you're listening to someone speak, maybe on a recording, and you're mimicking their words, their intonation, the rhythm, basically echoing them with just a tiny delay. You're their linguistic shadow, in a way.
Okay, I think I get the basic idea.
And it's good to know there are mainly two ways people practice this. Each has its own kind of benefits. The first one is often called simultaneous shadowing or real-time shadowing.
Simultaneous.
Oh. Yeah, so you're listening and you're repeating immediately. You're aiming for the shortest possible delay, like trying to say the word almost as they're finishing it.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It can be.
Yeah.
But it's really dynamic. And it's fantastic for using those bits of dead time during the day.
Like a commute.
Exactly. Commuting, doing chores, going for a walk. You can turn those moments into active practice time. It really maximizes your exposure.
Right, so that's the kind of on-the-go, immediate style. What's the other way? You said there were two.
The second is the pause and repeat method, sometimes called echoing.
Okay, pause and repeat. How's that different?
Well, with this one, you listen to a whole line, or maybe just a short chunk of speech. Then, and this is the key part, you hit pause on the audio.
Ah, you actually pause it.
Yes. And then you repeat what you just heard. This lets you concentrate much more deeply. It's more analytical.
So better for when you're like sitting down and really focusing.
Precisely. At your desk, on the couch, you can really dedicate your attention. You can dive into the nuances, the tricky sounds, the stress patterns, how words link together. You have time to listen, process, and then try to replicate it carefully.
You can even rewind and do it again, I guess.
Absolutely. Repeat the same line multiple times. Really dissect the sounds. It's like putting the language under a microscope.
It still sounds quite simple, just repeating. But you're saying this is where the real power lies.
It does seem simple, but the effects are complex and profound. Let's dig into why it works so well. Ariel, who we mentioned, saw huge improvements. She said she wasn't writing or reading, just listening and speaking. She felt like she was training her speaking muscles.
Training speaking muscles. I like that. It feels active.
It is. And that active engagement helps you develop a kind of intuition for the language, a deeper, almost physical understanding of English rhythm and sound that goes way beyond just knowing grammar rules.
Like humming a tune. You feel it more than you analyze it?
Exactly like that. You tap into layers of language that aren't just words on a page. It's about feeling the language.
So what are the key benefits then? Why is it so effective?
Well, the benefits are really multifaceted. First, And maybe most obviously, it drastically improves your pronunciation and intonation.
How so? Just by copying.
Yes, by meticulously mimicking native speakers, you naturally start to absorb the rhythm, the melody, the correct sounds of English.
So it's not just knowing how to say the, for example, but actually getting your mouth used to forming that sound.
Precisely. Think about it like a musician practicing scales or an athlete training specific muscles. English uses mouth, tongue, lip movements that might be different from your native language.
Right, like the L and R sounds or certain vowels.
Exactly. Shadowing is a physical workout for your articulators. It builds muscle memory, agility. It makes your mouth feel, comfortable speaking English. It's kinesthetic learning.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So beyond the physical mechanics, how does it help with sounding more, well, natural?
That leads straight to the second benefit, internalizing natural speech patterns. You stop learning words in isolation.
Which is how many of us learn in school, right? Just vocabulary lists.
Unfortunately, yes. With shadowing, you're hearing and replicating how words actually flow together in real conversation. Things like reductions gonna instead of going to.
Or linking sounds like an apple, sounded like an apple.
Exactly. And natural pauses, rhythm, it makes your speech sound less choppy, less robotic, and much more like authentic, real-world English. You learn the music of it.
Okay, pronunciation, natural flow. What about confidence? That's such a huge barrier for so many people. How does just repeating help with the fear of speaking?
That's the third major benefit, confidence and fluency. Shadowing gets you speaking out loud right from the start, maybe even in your first session.
So it breaks that initial silence barrier.
It really does. That act of just producing the language, even if it's copying, starts to dismantle the psychological fear. You're not just thinking about English, you're actively making the sounds.
And doing that repeatedly builds comfort.
Yes. Repeated successful verbal output, even simple copying, builds that general speaking confidence. It's a direct path to speaking more clearly and freely. Remember Ariel? She used to freeze up. Shadowing helped her overcome that. The more you speak, even just to yourself, the more normal it starts to feel.
Okay, this next one sounds really profound. Ariel found she actually started to stop translating in her head.
Yes, this was huge for her. For years, her brain did that slow, laborious three-step translation. Hear English, translate to native language, think of reply in native language, translate back to English.
She called it a slow train.
Right, a slow, inefficient train. But consistent shadowing stopped that train. The English words started coming out directly.
Wow. So it actually retrains your brain to think in English.
It seems to effectively do that, yes. It bypasses the translation step by creating more direct pathways between thought and English expression. It's incredibly powerful for fluency.
Does it go beyond just the words, though? Like the feeling behind them?
Absolutely. That's another key aspect. Learning expression and tone. Ariel noticed her speaker wasn't just saying words. There were feelings: happy, sad, frustrated.
So she started copying the emotion, too.
Yes, she copied the emotional cadence, how English sounds when it's alive, how it conveys feelings. This helps you sound human, not like a robot reciting lines. You embody the language.
And finally, you mentioned something about unconscious improvement.
Yes, this is fascinating. Unconscious improvement. When you shadow consistently, you're not just consciously memorizing rules, your brain is naturally picking up patterns.
Like how kids learn their first language.
Exactly. It's implicit learning. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. By feeding it authentic, rhythmic English, it starts to internalize the underlying structure, stress, intonation, even grammar, often without you even realizing it. Improvements just start to happen naturally in your own speech.
Okay, let's bring this to life with Anna's story. It's such a great example of starting from scratch. She loved movies, right? Watched them all the time.
Yes, loved movies, comedies, dramas. And then one day, her friend Ben calls with this amazing invitation to visit a real movie studio.
Imagine the excitement, a real movie studio.
Pure joy and disbelief. And when they got there, Bright Star Studios, she was just amazed by the buzz. Lights, cameras, makeup artists, technicians.
Wow, this place is incredibly busy. That feeling of being immersed.
Absolutely. And that immersion was key. Sam, Ben's cousin, introduced them to the director, Mr. Gray, and he gave her some advice that turned out to be crucial.
What did he say?
He told her, watch carefully, listen to how we speak and give instructions. You will learn many new English words.
So it wasn't just about movie making. It was an invitation to listen to real, clear English in context.
Exactly. It subconsciously set the stage for her learning.
And then came that moment in the coffee shop set. That seemed pivotal.
Definitely a defining moment. They were watching two actors rehearse a scene. Director calls, action.
Actor 1 says, "Would you like some coffee?" Super clear.
And actor 2 replies, "Yes, thank you. I take it with milk and sugar." Equally clear.
And Anna just whispered to Ben, "They are speaking very clearly. I can understand them." That must have been such an aha moment.
A huge aha moment. Suddenly, English wasn't this abstract, difficult thing. It was real, understandable, right there in front of her. It shifted her whole perception.
And that led directly to her learning about shadowing, didn't it?
It did. After the scene, Sam gave them a script and suggested they try reading the lines. As they were trying, Sam mentioned, "This is how actors practice. They shadow the lines many, many times."
So that's when she first heard the term.
Yes. And it clicked immediately. This wasn't some random language trick. It was something professionals use to perfect their delivery. That gave it real credibility for her.
And she took that idea home immediately, right? Started practicing with movies that same night.
Instinctively. Put on a movie, paused after each line, and repeated it aloud, mimicking the actors. "Would you like some coffee? I take it with milk and sugar."
And she found it fun, which is so important.
Crucial, because it was fun, she did it every night, consistently, copying how they spoke, and her English improved daily. It just shows the power of consistent, enjoyable, active practice.
It became less like studying and more like, I don't know, playing.
Exactly, and her experience really highlights something important for beginners. You don't need to understand every single word at first.
Right. Ariel found that too. Just focus on the sounds.
Focus on the sounds, the rhythm, the music of it, as Ariel put it. Just repeat anyway. It gets your speaking muscles working, gets your mouth used to the shapes of English, even before you fully grasp the meaning, builds that physical comfort.
Okay, so if someone's listening and feeling inspired by Anna, what are the first practical steps? What do the experts advise?
Well, people like Hadar and resources like Fluency offer some great starting points. First, and this is really important, find a quiet space. You need focus.
Undistracted. Got it.
Second, before you jump into shadowing, listen to the clip a few times first. Just listen. Familiarize your ears and brain with the sounds, the rhythm. Preload the information, basically.
Makes sense. Don't just dive in cold.
Right. Third, start small. Really small. Just a few lines of dialogue, maybe even one sentence. This stops you feeling overwhelmed and helps you listen more carefully.
Build momentum slowly.
Exactly. And maybe the most important tip for staying motivated. Choose a speaker whose voice you genuinely like, maybe even love.
Why is that so important?
If you enjoy listening to them, an actor, a podcast host, whoever, it makes the practice much more enjoyable. Less resistance, more motivation. Someone on Reddit even mentioned their professor made them do it, so it's a recognized technique.
So make it personal, make it manageable, make it enjoyable.
That's the core of it. It's definitely good for beginners to get speaking and mimicking. But there is that caution, like the Reddit user mentioned.
Right, the point about maybe needing correction. Not for beginners unless someone is correcting the sounds pronounced wrong.
Yeah, it's a valid point. Getting your mouth moving is great for confidence, but for accuracy, especially early on, getting some feedback is valuable. Maybe learning basic sounds first, or having a tutor or native speaker listen occasionally.
Or recording yourself, like Anna started doing later.
Recording yourself is an excellent way to catch things. Getting feedback ensures you're building good habits, not reinforcing mistakes.
Okay, so let's say you've got the basics down, you're feeling a bit more confident. Where do you go next? How do you really master this?
This is where it gets really interesting. One of the biggest mistakes people make, even when they're practicing regularly, is not setting a clear intention.
Intention? What do you mean?
Well, think about how your brain filters information constantly. If you're just repeating on autopilot without consciously deciding, okay, this time I'm focusing on linking sounds or I'm listening for the sizz sound, your brain might just filter out those crucial details.
So you need to tell your brain what to pay attention to.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're just going through the motions. It's like walking without knowing where you're going versus using a map. Intention makes your practice targeted.
That makes sense. And Ariel's story about the word thought really illustrates this, doesn't it? The power of focusing on a mistake.
Oh, it's such a powerful story. She got stuck on thought. Tried again and again, it just sounded wrong. She felt overwhelmed, almost gave up. Thought her mouth wasn't made for English.
We've all been there.
Absolutely. But then she remembered how babies learn relentless trying, failing, trying again. She didn't give up on the word. She stayed with it, slowed it down, watched the speaker's lips, watched her own mouth.
So the mistake became her teacher.
Precisely. It showed her that shadowing isn't just mindless copying. It's noticing. It's fixing. It's growing. Staying with that mistake, repeating it until the muscle memory kicked in. The pride she felt when she finally owned that word was immense. That deliberate, error-focused practice is where the deep progress happens.
Okay, super motivating. So if we're ready to move beyond the basics, embrace intention, learn from mistakes, what are some of these advanced techniques?
Right. Let's look at ways to really level up your practice. First, prosody, not perfection.
Prosody, like the music of the language.
Exactly. Rhythm, stress, intonation. When you're starting out, it's easy to get obsessed with catching every single word perfectly. But for advanced practice, shift your initial focus. Aim to match the overall sound, the ups and downs, the emphasized words. This is often more crucial for sounding natural than perfect pronunciation of every single sound. Capture the flow.
Got it. Focus on the music first. What else?
Try chunking. Native speakers don't usually speak word by word. We speak in phrases, in chunks of meaning.
Like, I went to the store becomes one sort of sound.
Right. Practice shattering those whole phrases or chunks. I went to the store. What's going on? Could you tell me? This helps you internalize the natural flow, the linking, the reductions. It makes your speech sound much less stilted.
Okay, chunking makes sense. What about adding feeling?
That's emotional shattering. Go beyond the words and try to match the speaker's emotion. Are they excited, sad, calm, angry? Try to mirror that in your own voice.
So if they sound excited, you try to sound excited too.
Yes. Let your pitch, volume, and tone reflect their emotion. Ariel found this transformative. Her voice was flat before, robotic. Emotional shadowing taught her how English sounds when it's alive, how it breathes and dances with feeling. It makes you sound human.
How do you know if you're actually improving, though? It's hard to judge yourself.
This is where recording and comparing is absolutely essential. It's a game changer.
So record yourself shadowing.
Yes. Record yourself doing a segment, then immediately listen back and compare it directly to the original speaker. It's often ear-opening.
You hear things you didn't realize.
Exactly. You hear yourself as others hear you. It instantly reveals specific pronunciation issues, missed intonation patterns, rhythmic glitches. It makes your practice way more efficient because you know exactly what to work on. It's like a personal diagnostic tool.
That sounds incredibly useful, if maybe a little confronting. What about using transcripts?
Using transcripts is another powerful tool. You can do it progressively. First, maybe read silently while listening. Connect the written word to the sound.
Okay.
Then shadow while reading the transcript. Reinforces pronunciation visually. And finally, the real challenge, shadow without the text, relying only on your ears.
You can even mark up the script, right? Highlight tricky sounds or stress patterns.
Absolutely. Color coding, highlighting, whatever helps you focus your attention on specific features while you listen and repeat.
What if the speaker's just too fast?
That's where speed variation comes in. Don't be afraid to use the playback controls. Start slower, 75% speed, even 50% if you need to. Most apps and YouTube let you do this easily.
And then gradually speed it up.
Exactly. As you get comfortable, increase the speed. Challenge yourself to keep up with natural speaking rates. It builds fluency and processing speed.
You mentioned using different kinds of materials, too. Why is that important?
Oh, content diversification is crucial. If you only shadow one type of speaker or content, your English might end up sounding a bit one-dimensional.
Right, because we speak differently in different situations.
Precisely. So mix it up. Listen to news broadcasts for clear, formal language. Try podcasts on topics you like for conversational flow, idioms, fillers. Watch TED Talks for structured arguments and persuasive language.
And movies, like Anna.
And definitely movie scenes for character voices, emotion, slang. Each source offers something unique, different accents, speeds, vocabulary, tones. It builds a really well-rounded linguistic toolkit.
What about practicing when you can't actually speak out loud, like on the bus?
Ah, yes, silent shadowing. Just mouth the words silently along with the audio. You're not making a sound, but you're still activating the muscles, reinforcing the rhythm. It's surprisingly effective and lets you practice anywhere.
Clever. And you also mentioned mimicking gestures.
Yes, gestures and facial expressions. Language isn't just verbal. Mimic how the speaker moves, their expressions. It helps internalize the whole communication package, making your English feel more embodied and natural.
There were a couple of other advanced ones, too. Text types, reverse shadowing.
Right. Briefly, text type variation is about mimicking different writing styles, formal emails, blog posts by analyzing examples and then writing your own. Reverse shadowing is shadowing your own recording for self-analysis, and delayed shadowing is repeating from memory after a short pause, which boosts recall. Lots of ways to keep challenging yourself.
Okay, but it's not always easy. Things get tough. What about feeling overwhelmed?
Very common. The key is kindness and strategy. Start easier, shorter sessions. Gradually increase difficulty. Be patient. Remember, Ariel found 10-15 minutes was often enough to see progress without burnout. Manage expectations.
And if the speech is just too fast, or some sounds are really hard.
For fast speech, use those tools. Slow down audio. Use the pause and repeat method. Understand that native speakers blend and drop sounds it's normal. For difficult sounds, isolate them. Find tutorials on mouth position. Practice them alone, then integrate back into shadowing. And consider getting feedback, peer, or tutor for correction.
What about just keeping it up? Burnout. Consistency.
Sustainable habits are key.
Yeah.
Set specific, achievable goals. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Aim for consistency over quantity. 15-20 minutes daily is great. Maybe find a language partner or online group like Anna did for support and accountability.
So we've got all these techniques, all this understanding. What does it mean for you listening right now? How do you actually weave this into daily life?
It's about making it a habit, just like Anna and her friends did when they made a weekly plan. Shadow movies Monday, record voices Tuesday.
So practical tips.
Definitely. First, utilize that dead time. Commutes, chores, showering, perfect for real-time shadowing. Turn those moments into practice.
Makes unproductive time productive.
Exactly. Second, maybe try a morning routine. Just 15 minutes of shadowing to start your day can really set a positive tone and wake up your English brain.
Or use it as a warm-up.
Yes, brilliant as a warm-up before you need to speak English. A meeting, a call, even just a chat gets you in the zone, reduces friction, boosts immediate fluency.
And crucially, pick stuff you actually like, right?
Absolutely critical for sticking with it. Choose interest-based content, your hobbies, your job, things you're curious about. It makes learning engaging, fun, and ensures the vocabulary is actually useful for you. It stops feeling like a chore.
And there are tons of resources now, aren't there?
So many. YouTube channels, podcasts for learners, and apps specifically designed for this, like TubeShad you mentioned, using YouTube videos with speed control, repetition, recording. Very handy.
Makes it much easier to manage the practical side.
And don't forget movies. As Anna's story showed, they're fantastic, authentic sources. Think about how movie quotes become part of everyday language.
Like, may the force be with you.
Or, I'll be back. Or, there's no place like home. We absorb them through repetition and context. Movies provide that rich, emotional context for practice.
Okay, enough talk. Now it's your turn to actually try this. We're going to do a little practice session together.
Right?
We'll use a few simple lines from Anna's story. The goal isn't perfection first time round. Just focus on matching my rhythm, my intonation, the flow. Get your mouth moving, get your ears listening.
Exactly. Don't worry about getting every sound perfect yet. Just imitate the overall sound and feeling. Imagine you're an actor on set. Ready? Take a breath.
Okay, here's the first line. Repeat after me. Would you like some coffee?
Pause for listener repetition, 3 seconds.
Nice. Okay, let's try the next one. Listen to the rhythm.
Yes.
Thank you. I take it with milk and sugar.
Yeah. Pause for listener repetition, 4 seconds.
Good job. Feeling it a bit more. Okay, next one. Hi, I haven't seen you in a long time. Pause for listener repetition, 4 seconds.
Excellent. And one more. Pay attention to the stress here. Yes, I've been very busy with work. Pause for listener repetition, 4 seconds.
How did that feel? You just did it. You experienced a little bit of what Anna did, that first step in transforming her English.
Even just those few seconds. Maybe you noticed how your mouth moved differently, or you started tuning into the rhythm. It's a small start, but it's powerful. It activates those muscles, sets the stage. Hashtag outro. So we've really seen today how shadowing can make a fundamental difference. Improving pronunciation, intonation, developing that intuition, helping you speak without that constant mental translation.
It really covers a lot of ground.
It does. And Anna's journey is such a great illustration. From being amazed by a studio visit to confidently helping others, getting a job, all through consistent, enjoyable practice. Her story, like Ariel's, just hammers home that mistakes aren't the enemy. They're the path forward.
It's not magic, but the results can feel magical.
Exactly. Consistent, intentional practice works wonders.
So what does this mean for you listening right now? It means you absolutely have what it takes to speak English confidently.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
The world wants to hear your voice, your ideas. So why hide them? This conversation, this exploration today, it's just the start of what's possible for you.
Don't wait for perfection.
Exactly. Don't wait until you know every word or grammar rule. Just start speaking. Start small, 10, 15 minutes a day, consistently. Trust the process. And just think, what possibilities might open up for you when you stop waiting and simply start speaking?
Great job today on Just Say It, where every phrase brings you closer to fluency. If you found this lesson helpful, click the bell to never miss an episode and leave a comment sharing your favorite tip. Until next time, keep practicing and just say it.